React versus Next.js is the title of this video, but they're not like each other, so we can compare them. React is a library, Next.js is a framework. Next.js is built in on React, and we can't compare them together, that's obviously. But Create React App versus Next.js would be a better title, but I don't want to use that title. Okay, let's do a technical comparison of these two, and I'm not going over the market or the job offers and job positionings. I'm going to do a technical comparison between these two. Okay, the first thing that is different between Create React App and Next.js is the routing. I have not touched a single Create React App project since 2 years ago, so I did a lot of research for this video for Create React App, and I've been coding on Next.js for the past 2 years, and here's my take on Next.js. Spoiler alert, I would like to use Next.js as my main tool for writing my projects rather than Create React App. The first thing that differs between these two is routing. I pulled this file from one of my old projects, and the routing here is a complete mess. It declares only about 10 routes, but it's a mess right here. When you create authenticated routes, you have to return routes, which is included route in it, and it's like this. And this is as clean as it gets. But in Next.js, the routing system is actually built in. So if I want to create admin route, I come here and I'll, for example, stocks, page.tsx, and I want to create email, page.tsx. It's actually page.tsx. You see the routes are created in here. The second thing that differs between these two are rendering methods. Next.js uses SSR, supports SSR and SSG, but Create React App only supports client-side, but you can manually handle server-side rendering and SSG. If you don't know what SSR and SSG means, there's a video right here that explains these two rendering methods in Next.js, and basically it stands for server-side rendering and static site generation, which is build-time content creation of your data and not going to ship it and create an HTML every time you request on demand. But in Create React App and client-side components, you get the data when you hit reload, and the server has to get the latest data and serve it to you, to the client. Data fetching. In Create React App, data fetching is like this because it's using a client component, client fetching. And you have to use a use effect and set the data to a state, and you can use other custom hooks, but it's all going to stay in the client component. Note that you can have them manually handled if you want to use the server's fetching, and it's achievable in here, but it doesn't support it out of the box. But in Next.js, the data fetching is like this. I want to fetch some data. Okay. And I want to mark this server component async. The default behavior of the Next.js components are server components, but in Create React App is client components. And I want to say like result.json, show the data in here. You see, it's way more better. and it has a more built-in options like next property in fetch. I want to revalidate every 60 seconds of this data, or I want to use tags like posts. It should be an array of this type. Okay, the performance. Create React app uses Babel and Webpack, but Next.js uses Turbopack and a Rust-based bundler for faster builds and improve overall performance. The fifth one is ecosystem and community. Create React app has been deprecated, but Next.js is still maintainable and actively maintained by developers, and its community is growing. SEO. This is a topic where we should talk a lot about this. Okay. Create React app doesn't support SEO that much, and you have to manually just give them everything. You have to manually set and configure everything in here. But Next.js is sensitive and focuses on SEO properties. Like you can export another constant metadata which has type safety, and you can set like alternative assets, canonical. You can set up open graph, Twitter bots, or anything that you wish for your metadata of this page or component you would like to be. But Next.js also creates lazy load all the stuff that you need, and it gives you the perfect rendering time on Google, and its Google score are higher than a client-side component because the server side is faster. Another thing that Next.js also have is, rather than an image element, which is an HTML tag, it has an image component, which gives us you see, when you import images in your Create React app application, the only optimization it does, it change your images to AVIF. When you try to render the image in using Create React app, the only optimization it does is transform your images. For example, this image is .jpg, but it gets transformed into AVIF format, and it set the quality of this image to 80, and you cannot change that. Let me see if I can. No, I cannot. Can I? No. For example, I want to use the quality of 100 in here. No, it doesn't get changed, which is bad. But Next.js transforms into this. It sets the image loading to lazy by itself. It defines a source set, and let's go to the disable cache, and let's see if I load the image in a smaller screen width, for example, like a mobile in here. If I hit reload and I want to show you the image properties, it gets the here. It loads the width of 1080 in this picture with the quality of 75, which is changeable in the props. If you pass quality as props in the image component, you can change the quality. But if I want to, like, for example, reload the page, and I don't have to reload the page, if I resize the window to a bigger screen sizes, and the width gets changed to 3840, which is the image for bigger screen sizes. Don't mind the aspect ratio on this image, but Here's the thing, another thing I can do, image file from public folder, which is image.jpg, and I want to statically import this image file, and I want to use like placeholder blur. And if I import this image file as static, and let's do a throttle on my network like slow 4G, it still reserves the image proper size for me, but nothing's happened. It's get loaded eventually. If I use this prop placeholder blur, you see the blur version of the image is getting created, which is more lightweight than the proper image. The SVG of this image should be, yeah, in here. And it's more lightweight, and its timing is, it's 34 microseconds, less than 1 milliseconds. But the video, it takes like 141 second with the slow 4G connection. If I don't use any throttles, it still shows just a glimpse of the blur image. Okay, we have compared these two frameworks on 6 different aspects, which was routing, rendering method, data fetching, performance, ecosystem, and SEO. I hope you liked this video, and if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.